So this is a basic data flow, right? So what this has done is it said, okay, we're going to read real-time changes from this MySQL database as they're happening and deliver that as is into Cosmos DB. And by default, Cosmos DB is a document database that will convert it to JSON. Now, so that's a very simple example, and you can see how easy it was to use the wizard to actually build that. You can actually do much more complex things, though. So if we go and look at these applications, we'll look at some of the other integrations that we have. So this is, for example, MySQL CDC, again, writing into Google PubSub. Very similar type of application. If we look at something a little bit more complicated, this is one that we did before. Is MySQL CDC writing into MongoDB. So if you look at this one, you can see it's a little bit more complicated. And that is because we're not just moving the raw data. We're actually doing transformations of that data as it's moving. And you can build transformations using kind of GUI-driven drag and drop things, or you can do transformations using using SQL. And a lot of our customers prefer to use SQL because it's a lot more powerful. So in this case, what we're doing is we're taking change data as it's happening from MySQL. That's basically all of the inserts, updates, and deletes that are happening in this database are being pushed into this data stream. We're also loading some information into memory. So we're loading some information that's in a product table in a MySQL database, and some information that is in a location CSV file into caches in memory. And these are, if you're running a stream in a cluster, these are distributed, replicated, scalable caches of data that can be refreshed. They can also be updated through change data capture, so they can be continually up to date, so they're never stale. And then we're joining that information with the real-time stream using a SQL query. So here you can see some SQL. So if either of you have any SQL experience, you will probably be able to understand what this is doing. It's doing a join from the stream against the two caches, and this is the join criteria here. And it's doing some data conversion. So it's converting some things to integers. It's doing a case statement here that's determining what to do based on whether you're getting an update through an insert or a delete from the database. It's doing a date conversion, etc. So you can see it's doing quite a lot of transformation of that data. So the raw data stream looks like this. It just has data in it. This data stream actually has specific fields. So it's basically transformed the nature of the data stream. We're then running it through another step here that's doing some email masking. So there's an email address in there. We want to obfuscate that because of GDPR and other stuff. We don't want to push that into our analytics. So we're going to anonymize the email address as it's going through with this mask component. Nice thing about this is not only is it GUI driven, you can just choose what it is you want to do and what function you want to apply to things, but you can also see what the SQL is underneath, which makes it, you can basically learn how to write the SQL by using these little enhancers that we have. We're then converting things into JSON, and we're delivering that into MongoDB. So as you can see, it's very straightforward to build these data flows. And these data flows can be arbitrarily complex. You can lock all these things down through security. So as I mentioned, you can say only a certain user is able to administer this application and modify it. Everyone else only has access to this end data stream. And if they want to build applications from that, real-time analytics applications, for example, or they want to write this data into other targets, like maybe they want to write some of this data into Mongo, some of it into Azure blob storage, some of it into Google Spanner, wherever they want to put it, they can do that. They can build the applications to do that, but they're not allowed to access this raw data stream because it had personally identifiable information in it.